What makes this whole very interesting is the fact that because after Beijing Olympics, I want to believe that perhaps what you just said right now, sitting down, going back to the drawing board, what time did you do, what went wrong, and all of that, that wasn't from
nothing. Where was the report?
So have we not found ourselves in this vicious cycle? Because
Absolutely.
it looks like 4 years from now,
Absolutely.
After
because nobody,
Brazil, we might be having this conversation.
Nobody is paying the price, and until somebody pays the price. Until some people, it's not about just sacking them. There must be a basis for sacking them. There must be a basis for... I'll give an example. Accountability is one. The moment you give me money to go and do a project, and the project fails, and I'm not able to account for the money, not even, me paying the price by sacking me or the other. No. Let me even account for the money in the first place. I'll give an example. Whether it is Barcelona 92, whether it is Athens, whether it is Melbourne or Sydney, whatever you want to say, the National Olympic Committee of Nigeria gets an X amount. I mean, the news now is in the air that whether it was $100,000, whether it was £250,000,
yeah.
Okay. The bottom line is a certain amount was given for preparation of athletes, because the moment the International Olympic Committee gets his money, they distribute 90% of the money he gets, the profit he makes, okay, from that is sponsorship, because they have the worldwide sponsors, they have the tier 1 sponsors, the tier 2 sponsors, and the tier 3 sponsors. Now, by the time this game ends, they will look at what they have in their kitty, and then they will distribute 90% of whatever they have and give it to the Olympic committees of each country. Now, as I'm speaking with you, the U.S. Olympic Committee have what they call the Olympic Center, and it is furnished with modern facilities where athletes ordinarily will go and prepare themselves. Okay. So what is the plan of the National Olympic Committee in Nigeria? Monies have been coming in. Sporting federations at different levels have been getting grants and support from their international affiliations. The question is, who is accounting for all these monies? As long as those monies are not accounted for, we can't progress, because monies that are meant for specific purposes are being siphoned into private pockets.
You're asking me to take a trip to the National Stadium, then I'll know why we are where we are today. So what, is it funding? We're not, the sports ministry or the authorities involved are not getting enough funding to support these athletes right from when they should be, they should begin training to prepare themselves for the next Olympics. Or perhaps they look at, 4 years, it's a long time, we can prepare at some point, and then they wake up one morning and it's 2 months or 7 months to the Olympics, and they're like, okay, let's just quickly prepare. Is that, we still have that attitude?
Yeah, attitudinal change is the way forward. But more importantly, like I said before we went on break, somebody or some people must pay the price. You see, an environment where there is huge corruption, like you have in the sports industry and other facets of our national life, we cannot move forward because nobody is paying the price. The moment you're able to, somebody pays the price, make them to pay, because there are clear evidences of monies, you call it money misroad. Okay, monies are getting missing. Monies are not being accounted for. Taxpayers' money are not being accounted for. And so far, these guys who are sports administrators, so-called, keep having a field day because they know they will spend these monies, whatever comes up, nobody will account for it. Then we will keep going this line. Because we need private partnership. In sports, in every of the advanced countries, sports is a national program. There are deliberate policies, even from the point of tax cuts, okay, tax reliefs, and all that. They are deliberate on the part, of the government. And I'll give you an example. There are many companies, okay, that are paying to the national lottery, okay, in UK, that are supporting, sports, funding sports, and they are getting tax breaks and tax reliefs for what they are paying, whether it's from a corporate social responsibility point of view or whatever, but they are getting tax breaks, and so there are reliefs for them. So they are able to sponsor and to support sports the way they should. Now, you remember that it was when we had such, support that Nigerian sports was thriving. I won't be naming companies, but we know it was cycling, it was marathon, whatever. We were having sponsorship. But the decay in the sport industry was becoming, what is the local parlance unbecoming. And so many of these corporate bodies started running away. When the scriptures in the Christian, in the Christian world says, when you see evil, you flee. You don't just run. So that is what the corporate sponsors have done. They have fled, in sponsorship. They do not want to associate with the depth of, the decay that is going on in the industry. So if you don't have funding, that's where I'm going. If there is no funding, sports cannot grow. Because people must be able to fund sports even from the schools.
How can we get that to happen? We've identified that, okay, fine, we need funding. How can we?
That's what I'm saying, that if you don't investigate the corruption. I'll give you an example. Nigeria hosted the Under-17 World Cup, which was supervised by the vice president, who today is our president. It was under his portfolio that I don't understand, and I don't know clearly how he went about his duty as the man who supervised, that particular project. But the bottom line is, he was the vice president when Yar'Adua was the president. And there was an amount that was voted for that competition. That competition has since come and gone. And Nigerians yet don't have a report of what transpired. So if you don't invest, and over 34 billion was spent. If all these billions and billions and billions, like this 2.3 or 2.2 billion.
Can that be the only issue?
That is a major issue. That is a crux. Because the money meant for athletes' development, if it is going down the drain, and these athletes are not getting the funds, how will they train? How will they be in top shape?
So the athletes themselves can go, okay,
where do they go?
Private sponsors.
No, private sponsors, well, that is one side. Private sponsors can say, okay, I am picking this ex-athlete, I'm pumping investment, I'm going to pump money, and then see how it goes. But you'll be surprised that there are bureaucracies that they will have to sum out. Some hurdles are already on the way, and they will tell you that these athletes are representing us. And so possibly you have to pass through us.
I can go as an individual athlete.
That is one of the problems.
I went to the Olympics. I didn't get a medal, but I did well. But I want to take the next Olympics serious. I go to a private institution body, and I said, look, sponsor me. I want to start my training now. I don't want to go 4 years from now and then have that same dismal performance. I don't want all the drama with the sports ministry or funding or no funding. I want to be serious. Me and 4 other guys, we want to train from now for the next Olympics. We won't get funding.
Now the bottom line is, you possibly may get. But why don't we do it holistically?
Well, if that's not working,
like the other people are doing. Why get 1 medal, 2 medals when you can get 40? If we have a system, if you have a structure in place, we see the way other people are doing it. Why don't we toe that line? It's a positive line. Why don't we toe that line? And that's why I'm saying 2 things are the major problems. Lack of infrastructure, lack of facilities, and more importantly, the depth of corruption in the sports industry. If you don't get those 2 things out of the way, even if individuals go to sponsors and all that, that may take them this far. But you have the opportunity of going that far.